Tonight, the fight night fallout. Hillary Clinton and the big surprise from her biggest opponent. And tonight, the Clinton campaign with a message to Joe Biden. Make up your mind. And Ivanka Trump tonight on her father, saying he would be great for women. The deadly plane crash into an American neighborhood, flames shooting into the air. Surveillance video showing the moment of impact. Then the takeoff, suddenly aborted, the passenger jet barreling down the runway, 100 miles per hour, the vehicle driving right toward it. Late details on the former NBA champion Lamar Odom, reportedly fighting for his life, found unresponsive outside Las Vegas. Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson lending their support. And look at this photo tonight, purchased in a thrift store for $2, now worth $5 million.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening on this Wednesday night, and we begin here with the showdown in Vegas. And on this night after, so many eyes on Vice President Joe Biden. The Clinton camp tonight saying it is time for him to decide. Some asking, did he lose his opening given Hillary Clinton's performance? The high-stakes debate, the most-watched Democratic debate ever. Hillary Clinton getting unexpected help from her closest opponent, Bernie Sanders. Right here tonight, we have Donald Trump, his review of Clinton as he gets support from someone else. Tonight, we also hear from Trump's daughter, Ivanka, about her dad and women voters. We begin with ABC's Cecilia Vega in Las Vegas.
While Hillary Clinton takes a post-debate victory lap, tonight her team on the offensive. Her campaign chairman saying at this point, Joe Biden needs to make up his mind.
State Hillary Clinton.
Other top Democrats thinking the same as Clinton gets high marks for her center stage performance, revealing a campaign strategy to come. How she'll address that lingering email controversy? By trying to shift the focus. Last night with that assist from rival Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders.
I want to talk not about my emails, but about what the American people want from the next president
Senator
of the United
Sanders.
States.
Let me say this. Let me say something that may not be great politics, but I think the secretary is right. And that is that the American people are sick and tired of hearing about your damn emails.
Thank you. Me too.
You know?
And when former Rhode Island Governor Lincoln Chafee challenged her on those emails, Clinton wouldn't bite.
I think we need someone that has the best in ethical standards as our next president. That's how I feel.
Secretary Clinton, do you want to respond?
No.
Governor.
She's also setting the stage for her trip to Capitol Hill next week to testify before the House Benghazi Committee.
This committee is basically an arm of the Republican National Committee. It is a partisan vehicle, as admitted by the House Republican Majority Leader, Mr. McCarthy, to drive down my poll numbers.
Hoping to solidify her standing in the polls, she's trying to show a likable side, even when she's talking about people who don't actually like her.
You've all made a few people upset over your political careers. Which enemy are you most proud of?
Well, in addition to the NRA, the health insurance companies, the drug companies, the Iranians, probably the Republicans.
And Cecilia Vega with us live tonight. And Cecilia, I want to take viewers back to that image, that moment in the debate, because you were right there in the hall. Bernie Sanders saying Americans are sick and tired of hearing about those emails. But tonight, word that moment isn't just helping Hillary Clinton.
Oh, it's not. The Sanders campaign took a clip of that soundbite and sent it out in a fundraising email within minutes of it. They say they shattered fundraising records, raising more than $1 million in the first few hours of the campaign, David. But the Sanders camp not the only one claiming victory. Hillary Clinton's team is calling yesterday's debate the best day of the campaign so far, David.
All right, Cecilia Vega leading us off again tonight. Cecilia, thank you. And this evening, we're also finally hearing from Vice President Joe Biden. A lot of speculation. He might have been watching that debate, watching Hillary Clinton's performance as he weighs his own decision. Is the window now for Biden to decide closing quickly? What some of his own supporters are telling our team tonight, and ABC's chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl.
At a meeting with developers at the White House today, Vice President Biden struck a note of optimism about America.
We're just going to roll, man. I really mean it. America's ready.
But tonight, there's much less optimism about Biden's presidential prospects. Even some of Biden's strongest supporters are saying privately he may have simply waited too long. For one, he missed out on the blockbuster debate where 15 million viewers saw Hillary Clinton dominate, Bernie Sanders offer a strong alternative, and Joe Biden's name didn't come up. Not even once. Even Donald Trump, in an interview with Good Morning America, says Clinton had a strong debate.
She came out the winner. She did what she had to do, and they were extremely gentle.
One longtime Biden friend tells ABC News he needed to be there last night. Team Hillary agrees, which is why Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta said the time has come for a decision.
All right, John Carl with us live tonight as well. And John, you were telling us Joe Biden had lunch with the president today at the White House to be a fly in the wall.
That's right, David. They met alone, dined for 45 minutes here at the White House. Just the two of them. No word on what they said. We'll probably have to wait for the memoirs on that. But aides to both men say that when Biden finally makes up his mind, they expect that President Obama will be among the very first to know.
But you heard it here, waiting for the memoirs on that. John Carl at the White House. John, thank you. We heard Donald Trump there on Hillary Clinton's performance last night. Tonight, someone weighing in on Trump, his own daughter Ivanka, telling CNN her father would be a good president for women.
He'd be amazing for women in this country. He would be incredible for women in this country, and he's starting to articulate his positions. It's not my place to articulate those for him. I'll leave policy to him, but I can speak from my vantage point as a child and also from my vantage point as a colleague and somebody who works for him. He's been an amazing parent. He's given me every opportunity to succeed.
Ivanka Trump on her father, the race for 2016 for tonight. But we move on this evening and to Florida, where investigators remain on the scene. We are learning new details after a small plane crashed right into a neighborhood not far from the airport in Lake Worth, Florida. The plane plunging into a mobile home park, then erupting into a ball of flames, killing the pilot and a young woman in her home. ABC's Mary Bruce on the scene.
Tonight, twisted metal and charred belongings are all that remain of two homes, burnt to the studs, destroyed by a plane crashing down. A terrifying ball of fire unleashing a massive cloud of smoke.
It was huge. It was just flames. I mean, it was just, I've never seen nothing like it.
The small private plane takes off from Orlando bound for Lantana when just a mile away from the runway, it suddenly falls from the sky. A surveillance camera nearby catching the moment of impact. The crash killing the pilot, Dan Shalloway, and 21-year-old Banny Galicia, who is napping in her room. The NTSB today combing through the wreckage, trying to determine what could have caused this destruction. David, tonight, this wreckage is still smoldering, and that burnt, acrid smell still hovering in the air here as investigators race to determine what caused this crash. David?
Mary Bruce tonight. Mary, thank you. And from Florida to LAX in Los Angeles, where a passenger jet was readying for takeoff, barreling down the runway at 100 miles per hour when suddenly a vehicle drives onto the runway. ABC's David Curley with the air traffic controller telling the pilots to abort the takeoff.
At busy LAX, with two emergency landings coming in and emergency vehicles scrambling, another problem, that very close call on a runway. A Delta Connection commuter jet cleared for takeoff with 76 passengers on board. It hits 100 miles an hour when a controller sees and a tower alarm system goes off. A vehicle is on the runway traveling at the speeding jet. The controller's frantic call.
Comes 5700, cancel takeoff, plans, hold position.
The jet slams on its brakes.
5700 reporting.
The jet and the vehicle got within 3,500 feet of each other before the vehicle pulls off the runway. The jet's brakes were hit so hard they were smoking. That system that sent an alarm to the tower is used at major airports. Radars which detect when a vehicle or another aircraft is on an active runway. Immediately escorted off the property, the driver's privileges were rescinded. As for the jetliner, its brakes were checked and it took off for Kansas City. David?
David Curley tonight. Thank you, David. Overseas this evening and to Jerusalem now, where at this hour there is new security across the city, hundreds of soldiers, more than 3,000 police. After stunning and deadly scenes being fueled, some say, by social media. ABC's Alex Marquardt in Jerusalem, and we warn you with one very difficult image that played out as cameras were rolling.
This scene this afternoon illustrating the growing violence. A young Palestinian allegedly tried to stab police officers, caught on camera as an MSNBC crew was setting up a live broadcast. He fled amid a hail of bullets and did not survive. Then across town, an Israeli woman was injured after being stabbed by a Palestinian man who was also fatally shot. This deadly escalation has also seen Palestinian victims. A pregnant mother and her young daughter in a Gaza airstrike. Teenagers in clashes. You can see here these young Palestinians throwing rocks at those Israeli soldiers down the road. The fear now is that these scenes are not part of the regular cycle of violence, but rather with the growing number of attacks and clashes, that this will now turn into something much bigger. Israel's police spokesman telling me today it's been years since the tension was this high. The police also said that social media is playing an unprecedented role in this wave of violence, the daily sharing of highly disturbing videos fueling this unrest. David?
Alex Marquardt in Jerusalem for us. Thank you, Alex. Tonight, a new look at the prison escape of Mexico's notorious drug lord El Chapo, this time with sound. Here's that surveillance video we all saw, but now we can hear him reaching over and turning the volume up on his tablet there. He's also seen walking back and forth repeatedly to that shower area where he later disappeared through that hole in the floor, the elaborate tunnel waiting for him. Then a split screen, he disappears, but you can hear there's pounding. Authorities say it could be from whoever helped him escape. The video shows the guards don't respond for about a half an hour. Back here at home tonight and to a flashpoint in America, and here's the question. Should gun stores be held accountable for purchases in those stores when the guns end up in the wrong hands? A guilty verdict against this Milwaukee gun shop. Authorities say that buyer there getting a gun for an 18-year-old standing out of frame, too young to get the gun himself. Authorities say that teenager then using the gun to shoot two patrolmen in the face. ABC's Pierre Thomas on the debate.
This is the illegal sale that has put gun shop owners everywhere on notice. The man at the counter is making what's known as a straw purchase, buying a weapon for a minor who was also in the store but not able to buy the gun legally. That handgun was used to shoot two Milwaukee police officers during this attempted arrest. They were seriously wounded and sued the store,
Has the jury reached
leading to that jury finding Badger Guns liable for their injuries. It's the first case in a decade where a gun dealer was found liable for gun violence. The gun store is supposed to take precautions against the straw purchase, but the jury found that Badger Guns was negligent.
The gun shop in this case didn't do what a reasonable person would do.
How far-reaching will the verdict prove to be?
It breaks new ground. It's going to give an incentive for other people to sue gun dealers.
Authorities say illegal straw purchases are a huge problem. Just today in Brooklyn, a police undercover operation seized 120 guns, including 20 assault rifles. Prosecutors say they had been bought by straw purchasers in Atlanta and smuggled to New York to be sold on the streets. There are experts who say the gun store verdict puts pressure on some weapons dealers to pay more attention to who they're selling to. David?
Pierre Thomas tonight, thank you. This evening to a case in Cleveland making national headlines, a truck driver accused of being a serial killer. Robert Rembert served 6 years for a murder back in 1997, now facing charges for 3 more murders just this year. Prosecutors suspect there may have been other victims in between. We turn next to a case involving a high school football player and his parents who say his coach did not listen to him in California. They say their son was hurt on a play, told the coach, but was allegedly told to stay in the game. He was hit again. Now, his parents fear those hits have left him with permanent damage. ABC's Matt Gutman tonight on the coach accused of ignoring his injured player.
After taking a hit in this game a year ago Friday, 17-year-old Trey Enlow says he tried to take himself out of the game.
He would have gone into the game, even if he was hurting, if he felt like he could.
A coach put him back in. A lawsuit against the San Diego School District says Enlow suffered from a headache and nausea and was noticeably rattled, confused, and unable to follow simple direction. Classic concussion symptoms. When he asked the assistant coach Steve Walks to sit out, the coach said he didn't have time for him, according to the suit, sending Enlow scampering back in where he suffered additional hits to the head.
You put the safety of the child before anything. The child should have been taken out of the game immediately.
He was later diagnosed with a severe concussion.
He's suffered some pretty serious depression. He's just not the same kid.
The school suspended the assistant coach who denies the allegations, telling the Voice of San Diego, "It was never communicated to me once that he was injured, I promise you." Even a surprisingly mild hit to the head can cause a concussion. One of the reasons the school district is changing the ways it handles head injuries. Now, if a player is even suspected of having one, they can't get back on the field for at least a week. David.
Matt Gutman reporting in tonight. Thanks, Matt. There is still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Wednesday. We have late details coming in on former NBA champ Lamar Odom reportedly fighting for his life. The former star found unconscious outside Las Vegas. Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson among his closest friends lending their support tonight. We have a major food recall across more than a dozen states at this hour. The produce being pulled off store shelves because of a salmonella scare. We'll have details. And take a look at this rare photo, the hidden treasure bought at a thrift store for $2. $2. What the image is worth tonight. Next tonight here, late developments on former NBA star Lamar Odom reportedly fighting for his life after being found unconscious near Las Vegas. Former teammate Kobe Bryant leaving a game to be by his side. And here's ABC's Lindsay Davis.
A grim reality tonight for former NBA player and reality show star Lamar Odom, now on life support in a Las Vegas hospital after being found unconscious in a state-licensed Nevada brothel.
He was still alive. Ambulance came, police came. They immediately said, this is not looking good.
TMZ Sports capturing this video of the two-time NBA champion's ambulance. The county sheriff reporting Odom, the ex-husband of Khloe Kardashian, could not be airlifted to the hospital because at 6 feet 10 inches, he was too big for the chopper. Despite their recent split, after allegations of his drug use and infidelity, Khloe and Lamar have kept in touch, as seen on this season's Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
I'm really on high alert for Lamar.
Khloe, among those rushing to his side, along with her mother, her sister Kim, former teammate Kobe Bryant, and Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Apparently, the doctors say he's recovering.
Shaq sending a tweet with the hashtag, "My heart hurts," and Magic Johnson tweeting, "I've been praying all morning for my good friend." Witnesses at the Nevada ranch say Odom checked in on Saturday and ingested several herbal Viagras during his 4-day stay. David.
Lindsay Davis with us tonight. Lindsay, thanks. When we come back here, the state where they say they can no longer pay big lottery winners, they've run out of money. Also, the food recall making headlines tonight. What's coming off store shelves because of a salmonella scare. And this just might be the perfect excuse for being late to class. That's a bear in the hallway at his locker. They're running in the halls there. We'll be right back. To the index of other news, the state that can't pay its big lottery winners tonight, Illinois, breaking the news today to lucky ticket holders that the state's running out of money. The lottery says it can't pay winnings above $600 because of a budget impasse. They say winnings will be paid when a plan passes. Got a major food recall tonight. Dole voluntarily pulling bagged spinach off store shelves in 13 states from Missouri to Massachusetts. More than 33,000 bags after concerns about possible salmonella. The bags with an enjoy by date of October 15th. Much more on our website. A major health headline about dietary supplements, including vitamins and energy boosters. The New England Journal of Medicine now reporting that 23,000 people were sent to the ER every year, more than 2,100 hospitalized. Most affected young people between 20 and 34, the industry saying a small fraction of the 150 million people who take the supplements, but they urge you to check with your doctor. To the black bear wandering the hall, this high school in Bozeman, Montana, spotted by the lockers before class this morning, students and teachers running, got in through a garage door, chased away by police, looking for the cafeteria. When we come back here tonight, the $2 photo now worth $5 million. We should all go to the thrift store. Finally, the photo purchased for $2, but David Wright says look closely, it could be worth millions.
Until now, this was the only known photo of one of the Wild West's most famous gunslingers. Familiar from countless Hollywood movies.
I don't know your name. Bill is my name, mister. Billy the Kid.
William H. Bonney, a.k.a. Billy the Kid. Randy Guajaro was digging through a box of old photos at a Fresno, California junk shop when this one caught his eye.
I was like, this guy looks like Billy the Kid. And it was the hat, the swagger, the stance.
Could it be the most wanted man west of the Pecos, wearing a cardigan sweater and holding a croquet mallet?
Follow the facts and the clues, and it was the greatest treasure hunt.
One company says the photo is authentic. Using facial recognition, they've identified other members of Billy's gang. They even matched Billy's hat and his pinky ring. Estimated value, $5 million. Bought at a bargain.
$2.
Even Billy the Kid would call that a steal. David Wright, ABC News, New York.
$2. We hope to see you right back here tomorrow. Good night.